So the success of the company, I guess, what still at this point we're talking about maybe 1960 going into the 70s. What kind of, I won't say obstacles, what kind of difficulties was it for blacks still existing in America for black business owners? Like, because I remember reading that Park Sauce was one of the first, or is the first African American company that was put on the market as far as you know, being able to buy stock in. What were some of the obstacles, I guess, the black businessmen on those sides?
Well, some of them still exist today, the same obstacles. Number one, lack of access to capital.
Okay.
And we literally bootstrapped our way because no one would loan us any money. We had to get the financing the hard way, save it ourselves to move ahead. The second one was lack of access to the markets. In other words, we were restricted to just to the ghetto in terms of consumers on an initial basis. That was we had a lack of intellectual capital in the sense of our people weren't trained because they didn't allow blacks to work in processes involving any technology or anything. It was strictly labor. And so therefore, we had to grow our own. We had to train our people. And we had to keep them together. And we ultimately went public with our stock in January of 1969.
Okay.
Later on that year, the Johnson products went public in about September.
Okay.
We were the first one to go with public sale of our stock. So up to that time, of course, we were on the Black Enterprise list regularly. We went as high as 8. And for years and years, we stayed on that as one of the top firms in the country. Uniquely enough, we were manufacturers, and not as opposed to those who just deal with retail. Our customers were chain store operators and grocery store owners. But at the same time, we had to pull our product out through the consumers.
Okay. So how did Park Sausage, I guess, because most of the workers in your company were black.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So how did I guess Park Sausage not only, you know, benefited, I guess, you know, the people in charge of it, like Henry Parks and yourself as being black entrepreneurs, but how did it affect the community around it?
Oh, it had an immense effect. It was a source of pride to people in the metropolitan area and in the state and in the nation. A source of pride that we had it. We had to keep our identity unknown because with all the racism that was out there, both black and white would be against you if they knew who you were. So someone would say, I didn't know you were a black operating company. I said, well, why? He said, because your advertising, your marketing, and the rest of it, it's not black. So we even used in our advertising young white, freckle-faced, red-haired boy to say, well, Park Sausage's mom, please. And that was successful and wound up in 1991 with me receiving the Minority Entrepreneur of the Year from President Bush, who also says more Park Sausage's mom at the White House. So I guess that was a peak of the advertising that we were able to gain.